Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me already, I'm Courtney, and subscribe down below if you enjoy makeup tutorials, makeup reviews, beauty hacks and that sort of content. So as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be taking you step by step through how I did this burgundy tone makeup for this client. So let's get on into the video. To start, I'm moisturising her skin to prep her face with primer so that the foundation lays really nicely and doesn't become cakey or dry. At the moment, I'm really loving the soap brow look on my clients, so I'm going into the soap with a spoolie and applying it throughout the client's brow hairs and then using the end of the spoolie to lay down the brow hairs flat against her face. Because the soap brow technique already gives the brows a lot of shape and definition, I'm just going to go in with the Primark brow pencil in blonde just to fill in the sparse areas of the client's brows and give them a full appearance. I'm now using the MUA Cosmetics Gold Flake Primer Oil to prime her skin. I really love the dewy effect that this primer gives as it sinks into the skin nicely throughout the makeup application and doesn't give an oily finish to the foundation. It is important that you always moisturise the client's lips to soften them for the best lipstick application. I'm then using concealer to prime her eyelids ready for eyeshadows. The palette that I'm using on this client is the Beauty Bay Evolve palette. First of all, I'm picking up a dark burgundy shade and packing that using tapping motions into the outer corner of the eye and bringing it slightly into a V shape. I then go over the edge of that shade using a deep red tone and begin to blow out the outer V shape. I use a light mauve shade to soften the edges of the entire look. I personally prefer working from dark to light with my shadows, but some makeup artists work the other way around, it's just personal preference. I also bring that shade into the inner half of the crease area. Before I go back into the darker shades, I now use a bone tone shade and set the entire brow bone area and soften the edge of the look. I add further definition into the outer corner of the eye by applying that burgundy shade and use flicking motions to blend the shadows outwards into a V shape towards the temple. This does not have to be neat as we will clean it up later on. I then go back into that deep red shade and repeat the process of blending the deep shade upwards and outwards to create a gradient between the shades. Once again, I'm blowing out the edge of the look using that mauve shade, using tapping motions and flicking motions to maintain pigmentation whilst creating an even blend. Going back into the darker shade to really intensify the shadows in the outer corner and carrying on with the tapping motion to create a seamless blend towards the temple. I place a deeper shade of red slightly more into the centre of the lid, as this will make it easier for me to blend the cut crease into the outer corner later on. Using that mauve shade, I keep going back over the edge of the entire look to make sure that the blend is nice and even. I use a smaller brush to pick up that darkest burgundy shade and I begin to apply that in circular motions into the socket of the inner half of the eye to create a base for the cut crease. I use the brow bone shade to soften the burgundy shade to avoid any patchiness. And then I go into the same area with that deep red shade to match the blend in the outer corner. Once again, I'm going in with that mauve shade to blend all the shades together. The basics of this look are going back and forth between the three main shades and then using that bone shade to soften the edges as you go. I then use the same concealer that I used to prime the eyelids to carve out the cut crease. I find that the easiest way to do this is to lift the client's brow slightly and tap the concealer on using the shape of the brush to guide the shape of the cut crease. I also use my finger to tap the concealer in the centre of the lid to blend it in with the shadows. I'm then setting the cut crease area by packing the Peaches and Cream loose eyeshadow in Kitten over the concealer. This shadow has a really subtle pink-purple shift. I then use a deep red shade to blend towards the cut crease to soften the harsh edge left by the concealer, and I use the remainder of the product on the brush to drag that shade towards the temple. I then highlight the brow bone area using a rose gold toned highlighter. As I said that I would earlier, I'm cleaning up the edge of the eyeshadow using some concealer on a flat brush for a more polished finish. To start on the skin, I first spot conceal to give an extra layer of coverage on any blemishes or redness. Here I am testing which foundation will be the best match for this client. This method of foundation matching is the most effective way to find the perfect match for the client's skin undertone. Once again, I spot conceal areas such as under the eyes to make sure that any discoloration is covered. I then apply the foundation that I found was the best match for the client's skin across her face and use a flat brush to stipple the foundation into her skin. It is very important that you go down onto the client's neck and into their hairline to create a flawless base without any harsh edges, but always move their hair to avoid getting any products into it. I then brighten under the eye and nose using concealer. To set the face, I use the RCMA powder on a powder brush and tap lightly into the areas that I concealed. I will be setting the other areas of the face using other products. I like to cream contour as I feel it provides a more natural finish. It is important that you cream contour with products that match the undertone of your client's skin, or you could create a dirty, muddy appearance. I then tap the Morphe bronzer across the areas that we cream contour to set the products in place. I like to tap the bronzer on the cream products to avoid disturbing the creams. I set the rest of the face using the RCMA No Colour powder, and then I use a warm toned blush to warm up the face once again, using tapping motions. Using the same bronzer shade as earlier, I shaped the nose using a small fluffy brush. I then set the entire face using the Morphe setting mist. Whilst the skin is still dewy from the setting mist, I apply highlighter to all the high points of the face. For the lower lid of the eye, I apply the dark burgundy shade into the outer half of the lid using a flat brush. I then use two separate brushes to apply the mauve shade into the inner half of the lid and then blend out the burgundy shade in the outer half of the lid towards the temple. To match the upper lid, I then apply the Peaches and Cream pigment in Kitten into the inner half of the lower eyelid and then highlight the inner corner. Using an MUA Cosmetics liner, I tightline the outer half of the waterline to deepen the eye look. The easiest way to apply mascara onto a client is to use a disposable wand and dip it into the mascara. Slightly hold their eyelid upwards using your finger as a guard so that when you apply the mascara, if you mess up, it goes onto your finger and doesn't ruin the eye look that you created. I then apply the Doll Beauty Brandy lashes onto the client's eyes. If your client feels more comfortable doing it themselves, then always give them the option to do so. Some clients feel uncomfortable with a makeup artist getting close up to the lash line with an eyeliner to tightline the eyes, so always give them the option to do so themselves. I then line the client's lips with a nude lip liner to map out the shape of the lipstick. I then colour match the lip liner to the perfect lipstick colour and apply this to the client's lips using a brush for perfect application. I then apply a Peaches and Cream gloss on top of the lipstick to complete the look. So this is the final look. My client really loved the look and I think that the eyeshadow complements her face shape and skin tone so well. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and comment down below if you want to see more client tutorials. You can find all the products and my social media links down below, so thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video.